Inside the Mindset. My name is Jillian Cruikshank. For those of you who are just coming through, yes, Jillian Cruikshank inside the Shade Room, and my host, my partner in crime,
Go on.
my mental backup.
It was,
I don't know what you're gonna call it.
Your boy Dara Jack, aka XL.
Yeah, we're here with you, opening up your mindset, giving you clarity on some things, whether it's illnesses that affects your mental health, or just attitudes and stuff that happening outside of the world. Like right now, love is in the air. It is all over. It wasn't hearing about love before, all in January, even in October gone there. We would have heard it Christmas, around Christmas time, but now February is here, February 14th, and the love just coming out. It's seeping, it's oozing. You can't get enough of it. So you know what that means, right? That means there are so many people who are being whose cortisol levels are being lowered and getting those feel good.
Yeah. That euphoric little
man.
vibe now.
But it's good. It's good for your blood pressure. So we're going to lavish you with love today musically. But today on the Mindset, we're going to talk about schizophrenia. And sometimes we make jokes about it and say, well, she's schizophrenic. Yeah. 1 minute you up, 1 minute you down, 1 minute you love me, 1 minute you don't. Make up your mind. It's like two different people living in the same body.
Facts.
You know how it is. But really and truly, it is a serious problem. First and foremost, on this segment of the Mindset, we're going to talk about what schizophrenia is.
Yep. And also let it be known, being bipolar is not being schizophrenic.
We're going to give you the
totally different things. Yes, please.
Throughout this segment. So hit them first of all with what is schizophrenia.
Right. So schizophrenia is a serious mental disorder in which people interpret reality abnormally. Schizophrenia may result in some combination of hallucinations, delusions, and extremely disordered thinking and behavior that impairs daily functioning and can be disabling. People with schizophrenia require lifelong treatment. Early treatment may help get symptoms under control before serious complications develop, and may help improve the long-term outlook.
All right. So you have an idea of what schizophrenia is. Break it down for those who really and truly, for the simple man out there listening.
Right. So it basically attacks your brain, where it breaks it down into seeing reality differently. You might see things that aren't there. You might think things that aren't happening and react as such to it. Like you might see a dragon in front of you and there is indeed no dragon there, and you start shout out and yell, and people think you're going crazy. But in reality, you're actually literally seeing this thing for real. Huh? Schizophrenia is attacking you in such a way that this thing has now become your reality that you're living.
Is it something that, because it just doesn't happen overnight? So
No.
I don't know if I missed that part of the explanation. Is it a breakdown in a certain part of the brain?
It hasn't been broken down yet into how it stems or where it stems from. But I would like to think it's a hiding from dealing with problems, like keeping it in. I was doing some research about it last night, and most people that suffer from schizophrenia had traumatic experiences in life and didn't know how to deal or cope with it. And therefore, they went into a shell of themselves. And what happened is a part of them switched up and decided it didn't want to be in the shell anymore. But this part is different than the part that people know the person to be.
So basically, the stronger part came out.
Yes, and it is also a different part from what
exactly.
what people normally know the person to be. Yeah, so the characteristics, everything will be changed. Yeah.
It's really true. People, there's a saying that we have two wolves living inside of us.
Yes.
One is gentle and one is light. One is dark and one is ferocious and protective.
Facts.
And the one that you feed the most is the one that's the strongest. That's the one that's going to be at the
forefront.
The one
that's the one
the pack. Exactly. That's going to grow and that you give strength to.
Sure.
And the first time I heard that, I really, really, gravitated to it and believed it for real. So with schizophrenia, if you're traumatized to the point where it creates a shock basically to your mentals, the stronger wolf, your stronger personality will come to the forefront basically to protect you in a way.
Pretty much.
Whereas the weaker or the traumatized part of you takes a back seat. So now the stronger version that comes out isn't necessarily in touch with what's going
Nope.
on around
And that
it.
stronger version tries to take over entirely. Yeah. It views you as the weaker person or
So,
weaker
yeah,
vessel, if you will.
yeah,
And
and
it
say that
tries
you don't
to,
belong here. You
yeah.
know, you'll get us killed.
Yep.
Listen,
Yep.
if you've ever seen Lord of the Rings, you would have an idea of what schizophrenia is,
Yep.
because what's his name?
Smeagol.
Smeagol. You know, Smeagol talks about we. He refers to himself as we.
Yeah.
You know, and the ring as my precious.
Yes.
And one time Smeagol is fine. He's with Frodo and them, and he's talking to them. He's helping them. And then when doubts come up or when something happens, you know, when he's ill-treated or traumatized or pushed away, or you know, his other side comes out.
I
And
think
then,
that's a perfect analogy you just made. You
yes,
know, Smeagol is like the visual representation of
I'm
what
telling
schizophrenia
you.
is. Because if you watch the movie, you would have seen when he was a normal looking human being, and due to his obsession with this ring and sword, strands of hair, he no teeth thing going
Everything
on,
changes.
whole body deformed and changed.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
Yeah.
And because people would have kept feeding that side, that ferocious dark side,
Yes.
in a negative way, that is the one that
He
stood out.
had no
That's
choice
the
but
one
to
that
gravitate to that.
exactly.
Yep.
That's the one that came out. That's the one that made him eat raw food and
And not
do
afraid
all
to kill and
do all
whatnot.
sorts of
Yes.
things.
Yes.
So, guys, I don't know really and truly if I've ever come across anyone with schizophrenia, but I am sure there are people that it affects here, right here in St. Vincent, right here in the Caribbean. And, you know, we brought attention to it because it's definitely not something that is touched on that you hear a lot about. You know, when we're talking about mental health issues here in St. Vincent, it says here, let me just give you this, right? It says here, schizophrenia affects approximately 2 million people, the majority of which starts showing. This is overall.
Yeah.
This is a different part of the country, not just in the Caribbean. The majority of which start showing sign in their teen years. In the early stages, schizophrenia often goes undiagnosed. This is due to the fact that this condition can sometimes appear with symptoms that would be considered common adolescent behaviors, such as fatigue, personality changes, and even hostility. Now, while there are many early warning signs of schizophrenia, keep in mind that it is the presence of multiple behaviors, not just a few, that indicate a mental health condition. So just because your teenager is being moody for a few days, it doesn't necessarily mean they're schizophrenic.
Facts.
A diagnosis requires much more than that. If you're concerned about a teen's mental health, the first step would be to consult a healthcare professional. Don't go self-diagnosing because you notice you've been displaying, you know, some a completely different attitude,
True.
or you know.
Because through research last night, I found out it's harder to recognize schizophrenia in teenagers than in adults. Because they would have like withdrawal from friends and family, which is a normal teenage thing.
Yeah.
A drop in performance at school, trouble sleeping, irritable or depressed mood, or lack of motivation. All these are regular teenage traits already. So then if you see it, you might be thinking, oh, schizophrenia. No, it could just be, you know, that teenager finding himself. So it's harder to recognize schizophrenia in teenagers than adults.
When we come back, we will basically give you some symptoms. Did we drop any of those yet?
No, not as yet.
So when we come back, don't go anywhere. welcome back to the mindset. We're talking about schizophrenia while giving you some mad love vibes at the same time. And I think it's a great it's also great that we're doing it on Valentine's Day, a
Yes.
day of proclaimed love,
Yes.
because sometimes love can have you switching it up, acting a fool, bringing out
Yes.
different
Love and crazy go hand in
personalities
hand, yo.
in you. You know, I wouldn't really put it like that, but it really does.
Hey, yes. I would mean not all crazy is bad.
Very true.
Yes. So
Very
I
true.
mean, love is to be crazy in a good way. Yes. Once it's genuine, because I mean, I have done some amazing things with my baby mother. We were just in that realm of yeah, and it was amazing. I mean, I don't know to the way don't get
I hear
provoked
you.
to this,
I
right?
hear you. I won't. But it's true. I mean, love brings out the best and the worst in all of us,
Yes.
and even the crazy. I don't know. I just feel real weird saying crazy inside the mindset.
So you mean
It's kind of like a little
yeah,
touchy to
like a
say.
little you're
know,
going against what we
Taboo. We're trying to do, yeah. So
facts,
let me
facts.
just push aside that word.
Right.
Crazy.
So
Yeah, we might touch a few nerves.
true.
Um,
So love is friendship on fire then.
all of that.
Okay, right.
For real, because it's amazing when you first start falling in love, you start from a friendship level.
Yes.
Do I dare say all?
No,
Because first
not
you have
all.
to get to know the person first. Some start with serious chemistry. Some people like they have some real serious chemistry. I've had that
Facts.
kind of love. Like it's just like something just automatic, just pulls you. And no matter how much the person annoys you, there's just this like
This thing.
chemistry, this thing
Yeah.
that's pulling you.
That animal magnetism.
I'm telling you, I've felt that, and sometimes it was annoying because when you wanted to be mad at the person, or even at points where you figure that you shouldn't let this affect, what you're trying to say or the point you're trying to bring across. I don't know. It could be unhealthy, in my opinion.
It
But
can. It can.
let's
And any relationship that doesn't start on the basis of friendship, that's time to fail. Marriages too. If don't go into a marriage with out of necessity,
very true.
Yeah. Be in love with that person. Make sure you want to be that person's forever now, man. Yeah. Because I say I only get married one time, so yeah.
I feel you. Trini Vinci said, I have a newfound love. It's like, what? A newfound love is like a brand new car. She was just singing along.
Yes, please. Or that brand new job, the job where we want to land for the next 6 months. You put your best foot forward. I don't know why we just become complacent after a while.
That is so true. After
Yeah.
when we fall in love, we make all the effort. We put in that extra time, and you can't get enough of the person. Sometimes you can't even get them out your view.
Yeah.
And then after they soak in a while,
Yeah,
so you
like
don't see
you
them.
forgetting this was the person
you
who
know?
used to ignite you so much.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Use that word again. Let's go.
Yeah. My bad.
All right, we're talking about schizophrenia.
Yes, and we're talking about symptoms of schizophrenia. So, schizophrenia involves a range of problems with thinking or cognition. Behavior and emotions, signs and symptoms may vary, but usually involve delusions, hallucinations, or disorganized speech, and reflect an impaired ability to function. Symptoms may include, as I said, delusions. These are false beliefs that are not based in reality. For example, you think that you're being harmed or harassed. Certain gestures or comments are directed at you. You have exceptional ability or fame. Another person is in love with you, or a major catastrophe is about to occur. Delusions occur in most people with schizophrenia.
Interesting.
Right? Hallucinations. These usually involve seeing or hearing things that don't exist. Yet for the person with schizophrenia, they have the full force and impact of a normal experience. Hallucinations can be in any of the senses, but hearing voice is the most common hallucination. Hearing voices, sorry, but hearing voices is the most common hallucination of people with schizophrenia.
Do you think that's why they withdraw? Because when they first
Like so much
start,
people in their ears.
yeah, because withdrawal is one of the
Symptoms,
the symptoms.
yeah,
Yeah.
side effects of schizophrenia.
Okay. So I'm wondering now if that's why they withdraw, because at first it has to be like an overload,
Yeah,
to the senses. And then you don't want people to really and truly see you talking to yourself,
facts.
you know? And you're like
Yeah,
real
you keep
fidgety.
away.
You're like, it's people. And after a while, when you can't figure out what it is, nah, me ain't going outside today.
Yeah,
Let me see you saying inside helps, or so you pull away from people, especially if it doesn't stop. You keep hearing voices.
or it's getting worse.
Exactly. You're like, you know what? This ain't going away. I ain't going outside because nobody ain't going to lock me up and put me away, or all of that. So I see how the withdrawal comes in there. Continue.
Facts. Disorganized thinking or speech. Disorganized thinking is inferred from disorganized speech. Effective communication can be impaired, and answers to questions may be partially or completely unrelated. So you might ask, you can remember what put my car keys? And the person going to tell you that they put bread in the oven, kind of thing. So they're totally off as to what you're asking about, but they're answering.
Uh,
Right. So rarely speech may include putting together meaningless words that can't be understood, sometimes known as word salad. So they might put together a bunch of words that has no relevance or nothing to anything. You can be like, what was that? And yeah, they can't help it. They can't help themselves. So it's known as a word salad in people who are schizophrenic. They'll just pelt a bunch of words at you and you won't know why. So yes, extremely disorganized or abnormal motor behavior. This may show in a number of ways, from childlike silliness to unpredictable agitation. Behavior isn't focused on a goal, so it's hard to do tasks. Behavior can include resistance to instructions, inappropriate or bizarre posture, a complete lack of response, or useless and excessive movement. Yep.
is that like, okay, for instance, when we really break down schizophrenia, right? One of the main components is the voices in your head that you
Yep.
battling within yourself,
Yep.
right? That battle within yourself. Now, the word salad thing, that's like different, like three different people trying to get out to
Yes.
answer,
And all of them have something to say at the same
exactly.
time. Yep.
Even with the behavior, it's like different parts of yourself trying to get out there. I'm telling you, it's a little scary.
Facts.
For me, it would be scary to see
But can I say something
in a
though?
person, and scary
Especially
to
in the Caribbean.
experience.
I haven't you ever felt like that though? Like you're not yourself in a moment, like you just wanna be that different side just so people could understand. Yo, I mean, I am normally compromising. I'm normally go with the flow kind of person.
Mhm.
But in this moment now, I just want you to see the other person that I can be.
Yeah,
So
the free
yeah,
me.
yes.
You
So
know?
you can know tread lightly or let's not go down this road ever again.
Yeah, I think that's why you shouldn't just look at um, mood swings and personality changes as a sign. Like, okay, look at Fisher, I have.
Facts.
It's not the main one, because sometimes we feel that way.
True.
Sometimes we get tired of being who we are because it doesn't take us where we want to go,
True.
especially in that moment, or you're in a moment like you just said, and you know what, I want to be free. So I remember like one time, like recently, we're in Beckway, the music fest, and I felt, I don't know, I forgot my swimsuit, right? And the guys are there enjoying themselves on the beach. I couldn't get to do anything because me, like, I didn't walk with sports bras or anything. So for me to take off my shirt and just do it to my bra and like underwear, and like that's really out of the ordinary.
Okay, so let me just throw it out there to you. So we did go Beckway for the Easter Valentine. We were there having fun. It was in the evening, and the ladies that we went to the club with and my friends decided, hey, we're going to jump in the seawater. Nobody had bad suits. They came up with the crazy idea of skinny dipping. It was fun
to see it and
was
be a part
fun.
of.
It was amazing until something like a snake like creature go to one foot and they say snake and then everybody reached land.
But I couldn't do that because I was among my peers and it was a work thing. So I have to still, even though I'm out, I still have to maintain that professionalism.
Yes.
And know I represent people.
Sure.
So, I represent a company. Those
Oh
things are
my
always in
gosh,
the forefront of my
boy.
head. So
The
I'm
Mr.
there,
Beach Flex.
coming back from breakfast. It's just like this the second to last day. I'm like, nah, we're not having this. We're not having this. I have to dip in that water. And the water looks so good,
Yes.
but it was all an illusion because I dropped my bag. I had on a jeans and a t-shirt. I dropped my bag. I went to the end of the water. I threw up. I just jumped in the water, and it was so cold.
Oh my goodness.
It was so cold. But the fact of the matter is, it was freeing within the moment.
Yes.
You
You went out of the ordinary.
Exactly. It wasn't something I thought I would ever do, but I did it. I jumped in all my clothes and made sure I took out my bag and my phone. I it
And
down
it
right
was an
there, and I
experience.
just threw it in. And I'm telling you, it was so.
It was exhilarating.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you for finding my words. I should keep your hand on hand.
I telling you,
My
right?
dictionary. So we all have that side
Yeah.
of
So
us.
I mean,
That's the
aren't we
longing
all a
to be
little bit
free.
schizophrenic? If so.
Anyway.
Right. Negative symptoms is the final one. This refers to reduced or lack of ability to function normally. For example, the person may neglect personal hygiene or appear to lack emotion, doesn't make eye contact, doesn't change facial expressions, or speaks in a monotone. Also, the person may lose interest in everyday activities, socially withdraw, or lack the ability to experience pleasure, any type of pleasure. That's crazy.
So, so you're trapped in a state where
Nothing matters. It seems
nothing
like
matters. You can't feel any kind of pleasure or anything good. Everything is just
no, that
blank
is scary
and cold and emotionless. I'm telling you.
And I believe we have schizophrenia here rampant, we just don't address it as such because we see it as just, oh, she bipolar, or oh, she just suffer from mood swings or what have you.
Let me just stop
and
and
it ain't
use
even that.
pronoun. Let me switch over to another one. How about we mix it up?
He.
They.
They.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, to be honest with you, the reason why I would say yes, I'm not trying to offend anyone. Most of the times when we speak of bipolar or mood swings, it is more related to a female than a male. We normally have males, although we do have them, we normally don't have males going off on a tangent or being emotionally out there, like having an emotional outburst. That don't normally happen in men. So that's why I was more saying female than male. But my apologies, they. Let's say they. Let's use they so as to not offend anyone.
I bet if we look at it, we will see compared to females, males are more susceptible to schizophrenia. Look it up and see if I'm correct.
As a matter of fact,
I'm
just
assuming
touched on something
but
there
I'm
just
saying
now.
let's check it out and see who's more susceptible. Is it males or females?
So it was there minutes ago where it talked. So, as it said, that the symptoms can vary in type and severity over time, with periods of worsening and remission of symptoms. Some symptoms may always be present. In men, schizophrenia symptoms typically start in the early to mid 20s. In women, symptoms typically begin in the late 20s. It's uncommon for children to be diagnosed with schizophrenia and rare for those older than age 45.
So it doesn't really say who's more susceptible.
No, it just said mostly for men, it would be in their early 20s, women, late 20s. And if you're over 45 or you're a child, you won't. It is very rare or non-existent for you to suffer from schizophrenia.
Maybe because we have that freeness about it. We're basically blank slates when we're children.
Yes.
And we're very carefree and everything is honest and pure. So I think at that point in time, you're basically just starting life. So
True.
You really don't have those issues that the adolescents and would put on themselves. Sometimes I don't know if I'm being naive by saying this as a parent and watching my children growing up. And even from my experience, I think a lot of times as teenagers, some of the things that we go through, we look at things that bother us, are basically things that we take on and put on ourselves.
Yeah.
I'm not trivializing things, serious things that would have happened to, I'm not talking about the like being raped or bullied or abused. I'm not talking about stuff like that. But a lot of times the things we think of as problems as teenagers really and
In
truly
kind of
aren't.
insignificant. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
compared to what you're gonna face when you go out there, you know. And I think sometimes if we try to show our teenagers that really and truly,
True.
compared to what we as adults have to go through, or what you're gonna have to go through when you hit a full adult, when you get into
Yep.
the world and you start
Yep.
working. If you look at it, it's really not that serious.
No.
You know, I think we should
And it doesn't
prepare them.
require that much energy or effort.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes I see my daughter stressing over her schoolwork because it's CXE. It's in a few months. You know, she's going to be doing that in May. And she'd be like, well,
Yeah.
you know, I got to get this much work done. I got to get all my SB, my labs need to go in. And it's like, I'm tired. I'm sleepy.
Putting too
What do
much
I
pressure on
do?
herself.
Exactly.
Mm-mm.
And I'll be like, you need to calm down. You need to take a break, you know, et cetera, et cetera.
You got this. Rock back. You know what I mean?
You know, it was definitely interesting and eye-opening to talk about these aspects and just getting a basic knowledge of what schizophrenia is. I've seen, now that you mentioned certain things, just seeing some people. There's this young man.
Uh-huh.
He used to work at a funeral home at one point, and I would see him. And sometimes there's always a switch up. You know, when I say hello to him or when he asks me for money, I would see a different personality sometimes, you know, or maybe he's just bringing a different energy to, you know. There are times I will give him like a $2, whatever little change I have. You know, he's always, Jill, buy a Coke, give me that. Like in the Coca-Cola, because he constantly drink those.
Yes, yeah.
You know, and you would see a switch up in attitude. So one time, you know, he's fine, and one time he's upset when
And
you see him. Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm thinking about it. I'm wondering if that's, you know, something that's a sign. But then again, I think we look for signs in
Facts.
When we talk about these things. We
But
look
who
for them in
knows? We're
people.
more aware of stuff now. So
Exactly.
And while we're on that subject, let me just throw this really quick out there: what bipolar is.
Yes, we promised that we'd do that.
Bipolar disorder is characterized by extreme mood swings. These can range from extreme highs, mania, as in like serial killer type things, to extreme lows, depression, suicidal type things. Episodes of mania and depression often last for several days or longer. So, schizophrenia attacks your mind to a point where you're seeing things and so on. Bipolar is moods where you will go from that quiet person next door to Ted Bundy or Jason with a choppy. So bipolar is not schizophrenia, people. I could see why we make the tie-in, because I mean schizophrenia does attack you with moods too as well. But bipolar attack your moods to either being a Hulk or being depressed to the point where you want to kill yourself or you want to take people's lives or what have you, you know. So yeah.
I want to put a disclaimer out there. We are not professionals. We're not doctors. This is basically us putting the information out there.
Yes.
Definitions and symptoms. We definitely love to have a professional come in and talk to us more on it.
Yes, and add in more to what we'll be
and give us
researching
some clarity.
Yes, please.
Because I really want to understand. I think some of these things, some of these illnesses, it has to be a decomposition of whether it's cells or something within the brain or some kind of chemical that we're not getting or
deterioration in the
something,
brain
you know,
somewhere.
Because I'm sure there are people who suffered no significant trauma, you know, and would have been diagnosed as schizophrenic or bipolar but these things just don't happen. So it has to be either we're not getting something, we're getting too much of something, or something hit us real hard.
Yeah.
So I would like some clarification on that, definitely. And we want to thank you guys for joining us on the Mindset today. Like I said, it's been eye-opening for real. We definitely have to wrap up because we are way out of time.
It's all good. It's all good.
Hopefully, this would have shed some light on your curiosity. Or if not, just basically, wow, now I know moments.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So that's it for the Mindset today. Thank you for joining us, all you guys on the WhatsApp. We do appreciate your comments. And remember, whenever we're doing the mindset, you can come through, hit us up 455-1069 or call us live on air. You know, if you know a little something about someone who has whatever we're talking about or who goes through whatever we're talking about, feel free to call us, share your experience. You know, if you have any questions, of course, you know what to do. So that's a wrap for today.
And big up on the Valentine's Day, yo, everybody.